Look what just showed up, guys. Who's that? All right, so this is gonna be just kind of an update video. Keep it short and sweet, just to kind of show you guys a little behind the scenes of what goes on with the FRS. Now, Carissa just hit 10,000 followers on Instagram, and that is absolutely amazing. So thank you guys for that. If you guys are following, if you're not, go check it out. It's 86.carissa. But here is a behind the scenes look of all the work that goes into making this car what it is. Here it is. We got body panels and everything just littered across the yard because don't have much space in here. Trunk setup is getting redone. We have some parts for the wing getting powder coated. I'm upgrading all the brake lines to stainless steel. Interior is completely tore out. This is how the car sits as of right now, and in about 5 days it's got to be all put back together and ready to go for another show. All right, so picking the camera back up today, we just got the new rear tires for the FRS, and they're some thick boys. Here are the old tires, and there's a pretty good amount of stretch. These are 275s. These are 295s. So hopefully they fit. If they don't, then I just have to cut more of the car apart. Carissa is in Idaho with the truck, so I can't use the truck to bring these in. Our Audi is being borrowed right now by a friend. So all that I'm left with is the R6, the R3, and the S2000. So we're gonna take the S2000, obviously. That's the most reasonable choice out of the three. But in order to haul these, I'm gonna need to remove my hardtop. And just like that, it's off. All right, new tires loaded up, wheels loaded up, strapped down good enough. Just need to make it across town. Thank God for a reverse cam, because
I can't see fucking shit out of this thing.
I guess time to clean up the wheels. This one is freshly cleaned. And this is what it looked like. You can only push it in so far, but there's probably a good 1/4 inch of clearance more behind where the bag actually sits. So now if I bring the camber in up top and bring the bag closer into here, it gives me a little more clearance to work with. Oh, good news. This is the thing that I was most worried about. They fit. And if we were to go lower, it would still keep tucking in. It would probably rub a little bit as it's lowering down. Otherwise, you can't get any close to that. It's almost touching right now. And those will suck in. And this will actually kind of bow out a little bit with the rest of the kit on it. So, should be good there. But this is maxed out with factory suspension components like the lower control arms, toe arms, everything stock other than the bags. Bags are completely aired out, bottomed out, can't go any lower than this. So in order to get more of a drop, you have to get lower control arms that allow more drop. So basically what they do is they push the hub up while maintaining the same geometry everywhere else. So we'll be getting the Stance V2s, which drop at 60 millimeters, which will pretty much get this down to about where the wheel is. Alright, so it looks like a shit show right now, but I got one of the switches wired up. Press that. The under dash lights come on. The airlift controller mount comes on. And the Starlight headliner. Flip the switch, everything turns off. Everything comes back on when you click it. And it lights up when it's on. So, got one down. Now I have one more to wire in for all of the exterior lighting. And then I can kind of start throwing the interior back together. I got the center console cleaned up, all put back together, and exterior lighting, interior lighting. Doors are ready to wrap other than just getting these decals all taken off. Brake lines are in. Everything's buttoned up for the suspension, and now just repainting the front bumper. Had a lot of rock chips in it so you can see the silver. So I'm just throwing another layer of black over that. Now I've just got that cleaned up a little bit. Alright, so got most of the key components for the trunk setup and the air ride taken out. Got this platform, and there's a bunch of water in the tank, so I'm just gonna try to drain some of that out. I marked all of the lines going into the manifold, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just in case if I ever need to pull those out and everything, I know exactly where they go, because each one goes to a specific corner of the vehicle. And then there is one line from air coming from the tank going in, and then another line going out that is for the exhaust when you go to air out. So I just want to keep those exactly where they're at, but this is pretty much ready to pull the rest of this out, and then I'm going to remake the floor, mount everything pretty much similar to how it is now, just with a new sturdier floor. Well, it's getting a little bit closer. So here's a quick little transformation for you guys. Ready? Get some lights on here. And there you go. Much cleaner than it used to look. And much, much cleaner than it was without the floor in here. Oh, we just got done bleeding all the brakes, Now we're getting the wheels put back on and waiting for the compressor to fill back up with air so we can put air back in the bags and put it on the ground and check the ride height in the front since that was lowered, as well as check.
Everything just stopped again like it did that one time.
Shorted out.
So,
Probably because too much kept trying to do it with it.
Yeah. Was that a fuse or?
Yeah. So blew a fuse for the air ride. That's the only issue that we've had with it. But this is the technically third time, because when I was redoing the trunk setup, one of the fuses was blown.
Oh.
The other one was fine. So it's still.
It was still running.
Yeah. And now to tear apart the trunk setup in order to get to those fuses. Well, there's the culprit. So now throw a new fuse in. It's crazy because we have the little suspension for these. Did it just blow again?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not.
Yep.
What is going on?
150.
All right, so we ended up figuring out the issue with the air ride. It wasn't because it was grounding out somewhere and shorting out and blowing the fuse. It was actually the check valve off of one of the compressors that goes into the air tank, that basically all that does is it lets air flow through into the tank, but does not let the air to come back through to the compressor itself. Well, it was allowing pressure to go back to the compressor, so the compressor was having to work harder, which increased the power consumption, and it was blowing the fuse instantly. So what I ended up having to do until we can get a new check valve is that compressor on this side, I removed from the tank, unhooked the power for it, and plugged the opening in the tank. So now we're just running off of one compressor, but no more blown fuse. Everything is working the way it's supposed to. And the front of the car is as low as it can possibly go. Because as you can see, right here, that is the frame, and it is on the tire. So, I mean, the car is pretty low right now. Got 2-finger gap. So, I mean, it's about an inch off the ground, maybe a smidge more. And like I said before, the rear, we can't get any lower without lower control arms. Plenty low. I mean, the little splash guard here is almost on the ground. And then when we have the side skirts with the splitters on it, it will be even closer to the ground. So I'm happy with that. We're gonna put some new trim along the edges, something that's a little bit smaller than what was on there originally, and then get that back on the car. A few of the pieces still need to be rewrapped. Alright guys, so the FRS is pretty much put back together. There's some finishing details that I'm doing before it's ready for another show. Here it is in all of its glory. These I didn't show, but we're gonna actually be doing a white overlay going across this, so these will be embossed just like how these are underneath the vinyl. And then these, there's a separate video that I'll put out on these. These are the Intech carbon fiber fender garnishes with the integrated turn signal, so those are pretty sweet. And I've already modified them a little bit, just adding the white here just so it kind of blends and flows. But yeah, pretty low all the way. And We just need to pull the trigger on the lower control arms and rear toe arms so we can get the rear sitting on the ground. The front, as I showed, you can't actually get any lower than this without modifying the framework that goes above the tire, or going with a smaller diameter tire or smaller diameter wheel and tire to get it a little bit lower. Interior's all back together, seats are in, everything's working as it should. That's just a little behind the scenes of the work that goes into this in between shows and the work that it requires when you have a car that is on this level, that has pretty much every piece of the vehicle has been touched, modified, changed. So hopefully it's informational to some. Hopefully it gives you a better idea of what is needed to build something like this. And you guys can definitely do it. We are by no means made of money. A lot of this is poor financial decisions with credit cards and debt and everything else, but it is an investment for us, not just our passion and our hobby. So regardless of your situation, anything else like that, doesn't matter what you drive, what job you have, anything else like that, if you are truly passionate about something, you can make it happen. You guys can truly start from nothing and build something absolutely amazing. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you in the next one.